does not mean that I want it to drop. Like, see, that's where like the internet can go apply that just because I'm saying.
Well, no,
because you're saying the definition of an adult is 18. I'm saying that's an arbitrary number and that makes no sense. We should encourage marriage when people reach maturity. That makes much more logical.
The only I see where Sneako is coming from, like from U.S. perspective, it's like, yo, that's disgusting. He's under 18, right? But from what Sneako was saying is, if you put it as a world perspective, in America you have to be 21 to drink. Canada, you could be, I think, 19 to drink. Other places, Mexico, you could be 13 or 14. You know what I'm saying? It's different criterias. So, in this respect, I see where he's coming from. Do I agree with it? No.
That's even more vague, though. Like, but also,
just for knowing that stuff's going on, Mr. Beast should suffer legit legal consequences, but he probably won't. No, I said all that stuff for the YouTube video, but Mr. Beast, bro, nothing's gonna happen to Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast is he could be a fucking billionaire. He could have 500 M's in the bank, $500 million in the bank. Mr. Beast is going nowhere. He's probably YouTube's biggest cash cow. You think they're going to let go of Mr. Beast? YouTube is going to do everything in their effort to separate the two. Mr. Beast knew nothing. Chris Tyson, it's all at fault. Even though the video that we just watched, Mr. Beast knew about a lot of the shit and partaked in a lot of the shit. And is in videos being seen, literally staring at CP art. Yeah, he should be cooked, but he's not going to because money talks, unfortunately.
It's because it's different for everybody.
When someone can legally drive, they should be able to legally marry. You did say that to me.
Right. When somebody is legally ready to drive, the same thing. I think adults should drive cars. That's why I told you that.
Yeah, but 15 and 16-year-olds can drive cars. You said when someone can legally drive
across the world.
In some places, 15 and 6-year-olds, that is like they get married at 15 and 16. In some places in the world,
and 16-year-olds can have sex too. I think that people should not operate. But see, you keep thinking that I'm saying this because I want the age to be lowered. That's not what I'm talking about at all.
That's what it comes across as, though. When you
maybe with the internet brain, because people in the West, they want to have sex all the time and they have a different sort of mindset, right? Here in the Middle East, I'm in the Middle East right now. They want to get married.
Look, man, human beings are human beings. Okay. This whole in the West, in the East, let's not get too crazy here. You know what I mean? Come on now.
No, I don't agree with what Nick Mercer said because people have different ideologies across the world. You can't, if you're from the West and you have a certain ideologies, you can't go to another place and pretty much, you know what? The way I view things is the way shit should be ran over here. Nigga, you are 10,000 miles away from your home. No, this is how we do things, and we do things over here like this. Either you like it, if you don't like it, you can fucking leave, right? Or am I bugging?
I mean, look, if this is going to be this guy Sneako trying to say the age of consent should be something different, I don't know, man. I don't...
Married and then have sex. So people, just because I'm saying this does not mean automatically lower. No. That's not the case at all. I want to ask you then, because you're insinuating that it sounds creepy and that I sound like a pedophile. What's the definition of pedophile?
It is an adult who is attracted to children.
Yeah, it comes from the Greek word pedo means child and phile means love. So somebody who loves a child.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. An adult who is attracted to a child.
Yeah. To a child, somebody who has not reached physical maturity.
Yes.
That's the definition of child. Somebody who hasn't reached physical maturity. It has nothing to do with 18. The definition of the word talks about physical maturity, not the U.S. government definition that you're basing it off of.
But there needs to be an agreed upon place. Otherwise, you get into this area. Again, you said when you can legally drive, you should be able to legally marry.
Right.
We don't have to talk about sex. Do you think it's okay to be marrying a 15 or 16-year-old? Probably not, right? Like I would imagine, probably not.
That's what they did back in the day, though. That's what they did back in the day. And it seems like a lot of those relationships last longer. Again, I like women over the age of 21. So I'm not trying to shoot Sneako Bell. I'm just saying facts that used to happen back in even in the U.S. in the early 90s, 1800s. Shit like that used to happen. It's speaking facts.
It depends. So this is where the age of consent becomes arbitrary. I don't even believe like that. consent is a weird thing to even speak about, but it should be the father, right? If I want to marry a girl, I shouldn't even just get consent from her. I should get consent from her parents. She should want to say yes. Her parents should want to say yes. That's consent from the family, and then you get married. That's the Islamic way. That's the only way that makes sense. This American way of this girl wants to have sex now, she gave consent, and then you get all these false allegations like, oh, she was drunk, oh, she...
Okay, so Sneako had a point right there where if the woman wants to get married and the parents say yes, as long as she's of age, which I think that's what they're arguing right here, what's of age, I agree. You know what I'm saying? As long as the person is of age, whatever the age is, right? You know? But then saying, oh yeah, well, this person wants to fuck, and then false allegations, what does that have to do? Sneako had me, and then Sneako went off the fucking train tracks. What are you talking about, Sneako?
Took it back. Oh, she retracted consent. All this stuff, like there's not even a specific way that we can define consent. What is consent? Some people say it's yes. Some people say it's like nonverbal communication. Some people say that it doesn't count because she was under the influence or she was intimidated. Even this is an arbitrary, is a weird way to define when you're allowed to be in a relationship with somebody.
You're kind of talking around it though. Those are all very different things.
Exactly. That was very, very nigga. Sneako's brain was running on a hamster wheel at that point. Talking around.
Talking about
Where
sex.
are we going
I was
right
talking
now?
about marriage. The question was, do you think, and you said when you are legally able to drive, you should be able to legally marry. Do you think it is okay for an adult to legally marry a 15 or 16-year-old?
Okay, well,
No.
By my logic,
He said
if
no.
the man is physically mature, if he's went through puberty and he's mentally ready at the age of 16, he's an adult. If he wants to get married to another girl who becomes a
I'm
woman,
saying,
I don't know where this is going, but you know, even 18, man, you know, like there's this expectation here that when you're 18, you're grown up.
I mean, yes and no. In some parts of the world, yes, because you start doing man shit when you're 9 years old, when you're 8 years old, when you're 7 years old. You know, in America, hell no. It's like almost like we stunt the growth in America.
You're an adult, yeah. In the court of law, yeah. But bro, these people are kids, man. A lot of these people don't even grow up till they're 23, 24. I know that's not what we're talking about, growing up, but I mean, like, you know, adolescent minds, man. You know what I mean? No experience. They're not ready for these things that this guy Sneako is saying that they're ready for, let alone marriage and sex and all these other things, man. I mean, I don't agree with it, man. I don't agree with it.
said an adult. Is it okay for an adult
right?
to
And I
legally
established,
marry
but we haven't even established exactly what an adult. So if somebody goes through puberty and they're physically ready, they're biologically ready, they're an adult. So the two 16-year-olds can be considered adults by my logic.
We're not talking about two.
What are you talking
16-year-olds.
about?
We're talking about
We're talking
an
about
adult.
That is an
You're
adult.
arguing it.
Well,
It's from the
what I'm
perspective of
saying is
an
that
adult.
so then what is an adult now?
Okay. We'll use your age. Someone who is 25. Is it okay for someone who is in their 20s to marry a 15 or 16-year-old?
No.
And let me explain. When you're doing your arguments, it's coming from an adult. I've never heard you say, like, two teenagers should be able to marry. Like, I haven't heard that with these takes. I'm talking about someone in your position in the 20s. Is it okay for you to marry a 15 or...
No, bro, you're weird. You're weird and you're creepy. No, bro, you're weird. If you're an adult, 25, and you're trying to marry a 16-year-old, that's insane. That's insane. By American standards, that's insane. I'm pretty sure that shit happens in fucking India, though. I'm pretty sure that shit happens in Asia. I'm pretty sure over the waters, some places they get down like that. I couldn't get down like that. You know? I would be mad if my daughter is 15 and a nigga who's 25 is trying to talk to her, bro. I'll be like, bro, who the fuck is you? You're weird.
Or 16-year-old.
But teenager, even bringing up this term that has nothing to do with child and adult. So there's two phases. You're a child, and then you physically mature.
I don't know why you can't just your
answer
body
that
become. Directly.
I'm saying the difference between a child and adult is when you're physically and when you're biologically, when you're mentally ready to have kids. Sex change, like Christopher
I will say
these people can take
you
hormone blockers.
harp on
It's
this
a weird
so much.
conversation, man.
You're not listening. This is the point. You can take hormone blockers. You can take puberty blockers. Okay, when you're a child. When you're 16, you can go change your gender, but you can't get married. Why is that?
Yeah, that's a fair point. As much as I don't want to admit
I
it,
don't know. I
that's-
feel like that's a pretty obvious question.
No, it's not. It's not. See, if you
Not at all.
if you cut your penis off, like Chris and Mr. Beast, if you cut your penis off, that is a life-altering decision. You can't glue it back on. You can get divorced if you get married. This is a commitment that you're taking.
Fair too.
A child, based off of the liberal point of view that you believe in, they can have gender surgery.
What's
They can
critical is
change
liberal?
forever. Do you believe that somebody can go through hormone?
Damn, I'm not gonna lie. Sneako is cooking Moist Critical right now. Let's see how Moist Critical responds. Because if we're gonna say one thing is okay, something drastic, then we have to say across the board everything is okay if it's drastic.
Hormone therapy, can they change their gender if they're a child?
I think that's totally fine as long as everyone is consenting.
Okay, so as long as everyone...
Your parents,
Chad, this
He got cooked right there. He got cooked right there. So he's saying that marriage, just a bond between two people, right? If one person is underage or 16 or 17, the other person says 23 or 24, Moist Critical is saying that's wrong, that's nasty, that's disgusting, it shouldn't be done. But you can change your biological structure. You can get hormonal blockers that's going to make you think differently. It's going to rewire your brain, right? It's going to rewire your brain, right? You're going to be able to chop your manhood off if you're a guy. You're going to be able to chop your manhood off, transform into a woman, right? That's okay. But marriage is not okay. I do not like the Sneako person. I can see that.
this
But he cooked. You gotta admit he cooked Charlie right here because, like I said earlier, if one thing is okay, then we have to accept everything. We have to accept everything. You know, we have to accept everything. It's just fair. It's not like what I think. It's just being fair, bro. Because when you're being fair, then that it's easy to draw the line for certain things. Like, you know what, this is okay, this isn't okay. You know, there's too much gray area and a lot of shit that where there doesn't need to be gray area.
Oh, this scene is so cooked, man. These YouTubers and these streamers and just this gaming community, man, it's just so different than what it used to be. And this world is changing. I don't like any part of this shit, man. How could he say that sentence out loud? Irreversible changes to the body as a child, as long as they have consent from the parents.
But
As
you can't
far
get
as this
but you can't get married. That's a crazy. Just to think about that, that is a crazy concept. You can do irreversible damage to your body. You can cook your brain with a whole bunch of pills. You know what I'm saying? To make you think a certain way. Then you can get hormone blockers, so you're naturally trying to reverse what your body naturally does. You know what? You know, it's okay to do that underage, but you can't get married. If we're gonna say one thing's okay, then you gotta say the other thing. It's just being transparent and it's just being fair across the board. That's my position. If we're gonna allow one thing to be okay, then we gotta allow the other shit to be okay as well. But we can't pick and choose. Okay, marriage. Nah, I don't like marriage. Chopping off your penis? Yeah, sure, go ahead. You know what Mr. Warren said about the frontal lobe, the intelligent choice making part of your brain is not done developing until you're 25. Then maybe if we're gonna hold off on marriage to 25 because your frontal lobe isn't fully developed, don't you think life-altering changes should also be withheld until you're 25? Right? I just want to just fairness. At the end of the day, I'm Nani. What this is happening that other people are doing with their bodies, it is none of my business. I don't care. If that's what you want to do, then do it. I just don't like how things aren't fair. Because that, from a person who, you know what I'm saying, has their own beliefs, it's very confusing. I'm gonna be honest, it's very confusing. Because from a person who's just like, who stays out of all this stuff, who doesn't really venture into this world, right? There's not a lot of these type of people in my life where I can sit down, have a conversation with them and actually understand. You know what I'm saying? I'm speaking from a very confused spot. I don't know. I don't know. So this is even, it's helping me to understand. But if we're gonna say no, this isn't okay, but this is okay, at the same age, when one thing is more drastic than the other, granted, being in a marriage is very drastic. But changing your physiology is also another very drastic thing as well. That's all I'm saying. I just want it to be fair so I understand and I know, okay, if we're doing this, let's make it fair across the board for everything. You know what I'm saying? What's good with you, Matt? Never like Sneako? I know. Hamza. You're a hamster guy. I know. Hope you've been having a great day, Astro. Matt, I hope you've been having a good day, Matt. What'd you get into today?
Guy.
But am I saying I hope I'm not coming off a certain way. I'm not trying to come off a certain way. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I'm being very fair. And it's okay for me to say, you know what? I don't know and I don't understand, but I'm willing to learn and I'm willing to understand. And I feel like that's totally okay, you know?
Was concerned. What?
Are okay with it, and you are okay with it. I think that's totally a familiar decision to make. Yeah.
Okay, so a child can cut their penis off and take hormone blockers and change their biology forever, but they can't get married?
That sounds crazy.
That's a decision.
That sounds crazy. Just that statement alone, granted, I don't know how these people think. I don't know how anyone thinks besides me because my brain is in my head and that's it. I am not a mind reader. I do not know how other people think. It is what it is. I cannot mind read. But that sentence sounds fucking asinine.
Decision that now extends beyond the family because now you're bringing in a different party. So if you have someone that's your age coming in saying, I want to marry that child, I don't think that can happen under any circumstance.
So,
no.
But it's still a personal decision. You're still deciding.
Because there's
take the other party out of the equation. It's a personal
It's
decision.
not.
If I'm 16 and I personally want to marry this girl, she's beautiful. She's 21 years old. Her family wants to do it. My family wants to do it. You're saying I can't do that. We're both consenting. I'm ready to go. I'm physically mature, but I'm not allowed to marry because Moy says that woman's a pedophile. But if then the next day I leave it, I'm depressed, I want to cut my penis off, I can go right into the clinic, snip it off, and start taking HRT like Chris Tyson. That's a society that makes sense to you?
It is. I believe
okay.
Everyone has complete. Yep. I believe everyone has the right.
Not gonna lie, a lot of things Sneako says, stupid. It's very, very, very dumb. He has a lot of very, very, very dumb takes, but right here, he is cooking Charlie. Right? Not gonna lie, he is cooking Charlie, grilling him up, hibachi style. The only reason why I say that is because, like I said earlier, things need to be fair across the board. That's all. I just love how they're going to talk about boys transitioning into girls. Oh, I mean, probably because they're thinking from a male perspective, you know? So if they're thinking from a male perspective, it's kind of hard to speak upon a woman's perspective if there's no woman in the room. I don't know, but that's just probably what, you know, that's probably just my thinking or my rationalizing on this.
To do with their body what they want to do. Some things will never change about what I view as good and bad. But there are, again, some that will.
See, that's so. This guy Critical is talking in definitives, absolutes. You know, he said this. There are some things that are never going to change about the way that I feel, but that's not true. People change, people evolve, people grow. It's a for sure. It's a for certain in life. I know I'm talking, but everybody grows.
Facts.
Down or up, but we grow, man. Our opinions change. Does this guy have children? Because let me tell you here, buddy. Okay? If by some miracle, I don't mean to be a little disrespectful here, but 5'3", long hair, talking like this. If by some, you got some money though, boy. If by some miracle you have a kid, this opinion of yours might change. Sneako as well, man. Does Sneako got kids?
No, I don't
understand both of these opinions, man. Like, I don't understand the transgender, and I don't understand how Sneako is saying that a 16-year-old can get married, man. I mean, imagine that's your daughter, 16 or 15 or whatever it is over there. I have no idea, but imagine it is. Come on.
Yeah, my daughter can't get married. I'm sorry. I have a 10-year-old daughter. That's 6 years away. She is not ready. And no, No, it's not happening. It's not happening. It's not happening. It's not happening. Also, transitioning is not an easy process. You don't just sign up for a surgery and then get prescribed hormones. Yeah, I heard that it's a very long process.
Man.
But it happens though. The thing is, it happens, especially with like. I think Sneako's point is like the kids. You can't transition with the kids. You know, that's all.
She ain't grown up yet. She a little ass kid. I don't understand this stuff, man. It just seems so simple to me. But then I hear people like this get up there with these big followings and talk about it the way they do, and they're so sure, they're so locked in and locked on, and I'm just like, what?
Like in the case of self-defense.
Man.
Because I would say
Okay,
killing is always bad until it's not, like in self-defense. But
So-
there are things that would never change. For example, I'll give you one that will never change. Cold-blooded murder. You kill someone in cold blood, completely innocent person, that's never going to change, no matter what happens.
Because it harms someone. You shouldn't harm other people.
Yeah, someone has just died here, a completely innocent person is now dead.
So why can a child
What's the
physically
opinion?
harm
I knew
himself?
that was coming.
So why could a child cut his penis off and harm himself?
Again, that's entirely the decision, and this falls right in line with my beliefs, that people can make their own choices for their own bodies.
If I
and their own
decide
lives.
to say, man, it's clips not mags, and I decide to shoot you, that's a personal decision. Doesn't
No,
change
it's
the
not.
fact that it's wrong.
You've taken it out on me. You've killed me.
And from a personal decision.
Yeah.
That's looking at it from a very naive
But
angle.
you said-
you didn't make a
Yeah,
decision
yeah.
for yourself. You made a decision to kill me. He and his family,
Sneako's
or he
trying,
and
but
she and that family
this
is
ain't
making that decision for that child's life. If that's the path they want to go down, it's like choosing a fucking sport. You can
No,
do
it's not!
what you want to do.
No, it's not!
You
It's not like choosing the sport, bro. It's not like choosing. It's not like choosing.
You can do
That-
what you want to
that-
do.
No, it's not! You go play a sport, you quit, nothing changes. You cut off your dick, you can't glue it back on. This guy's a brick, man. This guy's a brick. I thought he was smarter than this, man. On God. I thought this guy was smarter than this. What did he just say right there? What was that? Is this photoshopped? This is AI. Why did Sneako let him say that, man? Well, what did he just say?
Yeah, that is not harming anybody.
It literally harms their body.
Oh,
Their body changes physically.
that is their-
They have the
that is-
highest suicide rate out of any
That
demographic.
is their
anybody.
decision to make. It is
Okay.
their choice.
But it's not
no
re-
one
in
is
It's
relation
their
to
choice.
playing
So
a
why can
sport.
I not make the choice to shoot you and say
Moron.
it's clips on
You are
mags?
harming someone
You're
that's
harm-
not you.
Right. You're harming yourself by cutting off your penis. Same reason that suicide should not be allowed, because you're harming yourself. Why can I not